You all right? Hello?
Is that working? I think that's working. I think the intro went very juddery there. So let's just pretend that went perfectly smoothly. Good evening. Welcome to the Too Much Time on Our Hands podcast. We are super on it today. There's only two of us and we're half an hour late. But, you know, what do you expect? What do you pay your money for? You got problems, write them on an envelope and fling them over the back of a rainbow. Daniel, how are you this evening?
I'm good. It's very juddery. I'm just looking at it now.
I don't know what's going on there.
It's crazy. What's going on? What's the happy haps? Is it my fault?
No, I think it's because it's a ridiculously huge, MOV file with transparency in it, and there's probably a better way of doing it. I'll have to have a look into that.
Probably. It seems to be working fine now, anyway. Mm-hmm. So all they've really heard us talk about is how it's not working. So that's good. I'm fine. I'm tired. Really tired, but I'm okay.
Good. So it's just me and Daniel tonight. Duncan, Tom, they've both been forced to join the Navy. Yeah. So they're off. I think they're mainly on the sort of bit of training where you learn how to do sea shanties. They've got a week of rum swigging, and then they should be back after a brief stint on a nuclear submarine. So they'll probably be back next week. But
you say forced to join the Navy. What actually happened was they went to see Top Gun together and woke up and found themselves as naval aviators in Miramar. They'd been given their dream shot, Russ.
Yeah, they're going up against the best.
They got to do something. He had to do something he still couldn't believe.
Who's he in this situation?
Just Michael
that bald guy rocked up.
That's not Michael Ironside, is it? That's
no, it's what's his name?
That's going to bug me. Slacker. That's all I remember from Back to the Future.
He's not with us any longer, is he?
No, because that's why Ed Harris has to fill the role of Michael Ironside and this guy in every film, including Top Gun Maverick.
Let's forget Michael Ironside's in it.
Mm.
He is.
He's Viper, right?
Or no, Tom Skerritt is Viper.
Jester.
No, he's not. Is he Jester? I think he is Jester. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he might be Jester.
I've got a hair on my t-shirt, and it's really.
Russ, when are we going to go see Top Gun?
I've got no idea. I've got no time. I will go and see it at some point, but I've just never got any time.
I know this isn't what we were talking about. I went to see Top Gun again the other day in
How many
Screen
times is
X.
this now for you?
3 times.
Nice.
Yep, 3 times. And so I've seen it in IMAX, seen it in 4DX, which I thought was a bit distracting, if I'm honest. And I've seen it in Screen X, which is easily the best way of watching it.
That's the sort of, there's extra stuff projected on the walls, isn't there?
Yeah.
Now, is that actual footage, or is it a bit like one of those Ambilight televisions, and it just sort of flashes the correct colour light in the side?
It's actual footage. So so they had cameras that were kind of pointing out, like as they were filming it. So as a result, when you see a plane in the sky, it's like, here's the plane, and in this Screen X one, it's here's the plane and the stunning, beautiful surroundings around the plane as well. Here's the stuff you saw on the aircraft carrier that you couldn't see on the aircraft carrier before they take off, that kind of thing.
Yeah, it sounds like one of those cinema gimmicks that involves an insanely impractical camera rig.
I would imagine this is the only film I will ever watch in Screen X. Because although Terry, who I went with from the Marveling Marvel podcast, that is going to come back at some point, pointed out that something like Lord of the Rings would look really good in 4DX. Because you've got look how fucking beautiful New Zealand is, basically. So yeah, it's good. So after that, I watched Men. This is what I was actually going to get to. The new Alex Garland film. That's the one. That's the person I was looking for. It's weird, but it is really good. So, but it is weird. There's no denying that. But yeah, just thought I'd point out it's really good.
Excellent.
Let's do some news. News. I was going to change my name, but I'd still quite like the Bring Down the Monarchy thing.
It's still news relevant, isn't it?
Still relevant as far as I'm concerned.
My name resets itself on Zoom. It always goes back to Russ. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I've got a proper signed in account with it. I don't know. But I've never had that thing of also don't use this for work, but turning up at a proper meeting with your silly podcast name still on. But I enjoy it when it happens to other people.
That's the important thing, isn't it, really? So, yeah. Hope the McDonald's was worth it. Oh, Baz.
What'd you
I
get?
just got stuck in a queue. I've still got to eat it, by the way. So I've got chips.
Classic.
Yeah. So I've got the meal, quarter pounder of cheese meal.
Nice.
Yeah, with Fanta as well.
It's acceptable.
Yeah. Well, what would you have gone with?
Well, to be honest, since they brought in the sugar tax, they all kind of taste the same anyway.
Yeah, like basically like fucking water. You know, what's the point? And I got some mozzarella dippers as well.
Nice. Nice.
I think so. Yeah.
I don't mind a cold McDonald's chip.
No, well that's handy for me as well.
They mature in the bag quite nicely.
Yeah, definitely. Although it's just not McDonald's weather, is it? Really, it's too hot out there. I don't know.
It is a bit hot, yeah.
Luckily, mine will be cold, so that's good to know.
How hot are you in your little studio there?
Fucking, I've got the window open. I don't care anymore. It's too hot. Basically, my computer just pumps out so much bloody heat. It's ridiculous. So, and obviously, I pump out a fair amount of heat as well.
You are famed for it.
Yeah, it's what I do. Mm-hmm. Everyone's got to have a hobby.
So that's the news. Dan's had a McDonald's and he's a bit warm.
There's actually quite a bit this week, by the way, because we had all the stuff that should have been at E3 but E3 didn't exist. So so there's been a fair amount.
That was a late notice cancellation for E3 this year, wasn't it?
It was, yeah, but it still really snuck up on us, didn't it? So I'm just bringing up. There's a couple of other bits and bobs that I didn't bring up that I'm now going to bring up because I think we should talk about them. I don't really give too much of a shit about the PlayStation conference, but there was obviously something that happened during that PlayStation conference that I think we should talk about. So yeah. So where do we want to start then? Got a load of news. Some of it's news. Some of it isn't news.
I mean, probably one of those.
Cool.
Have you seen the picture of Ryan Gosling as Ken?
Yes, that was. I've got that here. Yes,
that actually looks quite amazing.
I know, and I think it's excellent casting. So yeah, whoa, okay, but yeah, I'm a fan. I'm looking forward to that. It looks really, really good. Yes, so congrats Ryan Gosling on looking like Ken. Really does look like him as well. First bit of news. Ready for that? US fuel now as expensive as Cyberpunk 2077's dystopian world.
Still a lot cheaper than here though, isn't it?
Yeah. Bonkers though, isn't it? That fuel prices are now meeting a world. So
they set
really
like
bad.
Nobody will ever believe it costs this much per gallon price in the game, and it's now hit that.
Yeah,
crazy, absolutely
bonkers. So yeah, that's it's quick news to start with, I suppose, but it was the first one on my list, so I just went with it.
It's brilliant.
Yeah, it's just bonkers. Well, it is less than brilliant. Because I've got half a tank of petrol and I'm panicking now. So, like the next time I've got to fill it up and spend a fortune on it.
I can believe it. I think, yeah, I haven't had £100 one yet, but I think I paid £98 the other day to fill up.
I've got a small fuel tank and I paid £80, I think. So yeah,
unbelievable.
So yeah, bonkers, absolutely bonkers. But there we go. This is some sad news. Dungeons & Dragons personalities Satine Phoenix and Jameson Stone accused of bullying and mistreatment. This is on comicbook.com, but it's been everywhere over the last few days. And it's one of those things that if you know about it, then you know everything about it. And if you don't know about it, then this might be a little bit boring. But we're going to go with it anyway. A pair of well-known faces within the Dungeons & Dragons streaming community are facing a number of accusations surrounding their treatment of collaborators on assorted projects over the past several days. Over a dozen different former collaborators have spoken out against Satine Phoenix and Jameson Stone. A pair of frequently seen influencers have been appearing on numerous Dungeons & Dragons streaming shows and work with the likes of Wizard of the Coast, Origins, Game Fair, and Geek and Sundry. These accusations paint a poor treatment, bullying, and gaslighting, along with threats of blacklisting and manipulation. And you read some of the stories. It's well worth reading, by the way, because it is bad, like really bad, how they've treated people that are just trying to get a leg up in the community and do something that they enjoy. And they've treated them really badly. There's a number of tweets. Brian W. Foster, who used to be on Critical Role, who I think is might be a questionable individual, if I'm honest with you, but he has done some good work with this. There's a whole, he's put a whole website through of everyone that's come out and said something against him. He's been doing a Twitch stream every night this week, talking to the people that have been involved in this. So it's that's well worth a read or well worth a watch. It's interesting.
It's just yet another one of those examples of, people get a bit of power and influence. And I don't think it fundamentally changes people. I think some people, it just turns out they were arseholes all along.
Yeah.
But they've got a lot more that they can actually do with that, and they have real power that they can exercise. And it's a terrible combination for some people. Especially when you're dicking over people in your own community.
Yeah.
Because you're threatened by them. It's a bit pathetic.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Totally agree.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's sad. For all the good people in the tabletop gaming community, they are definitely not one of them.
It's hard to accept, but there are people who like the same things as you, and you can't just assume that they're all nice people. Unfortunately, that was the problem with people like Joss Whedon. They were just so universally adored that nobody wanted to hear anything bad about them, and nobody would listen.
Dan says, "Power doesn't corrupt; it reveals."
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's dangerous to think, they used to be so nice, and now then they got a bit of influence or whatever, and it went to their heads. But I don't think that's the case. I think if you once an arsehole, always an arsehole.
And Baz says power means you no longer have to pretend to be a good person. Yeah, this is all very true.
Well, that certainly used to be the case. I mean, hopefully that's the sort of thing that's actually changing now.
There was a number of people who, I heard something on a podcast or something talking about how their goal is to provide a route through to politics for people that aren't necessarily sociopaths or psychopaths. Basically,
it shouldn't be necessary, but turns out it is.
Exactly, yeah. So, it seems, it's something that you don't think about, but it's incredibly ambitious people that try and get into politics, and it's hard to think of someone not ambitious trying to get into politics, but
it's
they
kind
are
of the
probably
ideal,
the people
really,
we actually need.
Exactly, nobody who actually wants to be an MP should be allowed to be. Really,
yeah.
Certainly not Prime Minister. And but back in the day, it was something that you were encouraged to do. You might have done a good job of work for a reasonable amount of time and earned the respect of the community, and you were encouraged towards it. You didn't just do a PPE degree and then work as an unpaid, intern for God knows how long.
Yeah, exactly. In happier news, I suppose, Lollipop Chainsaw. I've been talking all day. Lollipop Chainsaw apparently making a return. That game was fun. So hopefully that's
quite a while ago. It must be 10 years ago or so now. Must be about 10 years old, that game now.
Yeah, it must be about that. It must say on here somewhere.
So is this
It's now 10 years old, yeah.
Sequel, a reboot, a remake?
Given the game's now 10 years old, it fits that Yasuda celebrate the anniversary around the same time as the announcement, which was no doubt timed accordingly. So yeah, looks like it's going to be a sequel. Interesting. Samuel L. Jackson says he's done chasing Oscars, wants to be Nick Fury and Mace Windu.
Fine.
Fair enough.
I'm on board with that.
I would like him to be both of those people. I wonder if this was his sly way of saying I'd like to see a film with either of those. Although Secret Wars is going to be that. So I'd imagine that's going to be the case. Maybe representative democracy isn't good enough, Dan. That's what Dan says. Sorry, I wasn't saying that to Dan. He said that. I agree, but we probably shouldn't get into it right now, should we?
Well, what's that quote? It's the worst form of government apart from all the others.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Anyway,
I think problems lie more with things like the lack of proportional representation.
I was never going to let the Oscars be a measure of my success or failure as an actor. My yardstick of success is my happiness. I'm satisfied with what I'm doing. I'm not doing statue chasing movies. You know, if you do this movie, you'll win an Oscar. No thanks. I'd rather be Nick Fury or having fun being Mace Windu with a lightsaber in my hand. Is this him just trying to say, like, if you want to make a Mace
That's basically
Windu
saying, like,
series,
if you ask me, I will come back and do this.
yeah, exactly, yeah. Feels like it. Dan says maybe do like Greeks did and have an MP selected by random lottery by jury service.
That's not a terrible idea.
Don't hate it.
Yeah.
I don't know. But then you get people like my mum who think it's funny to take a Tory leaflet that got put through the post and change every word every time the word Tory to is said to Oscar, which was the name of the cat at the time, and put his policies like more food, please, and other things. I'll put it up on the social. It's hilarious. She did a really good job with it, but she thought it was hilarious as well. So maybe we don't want my mum involved. That's it. That'll be announced. We'll talk about that in a bit. Andor has got a release date. I think that happened last week, actually. It will drop on August 31st.
There's a lot going on though, isn't there? Because you've got Obi-Wan at the moment. Ms. Marvel's started. And then we've got...
Have you seen the first episode, by the way?
I haven't. No, so I've got one episode of Obi-Wan and probably two of Ms. Marvel now.
Yep, as of tonight.
One out today. But it looks very cool.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It's fucking great. I really, really liked it. It just looks like at some points you could see Spider-Man just swinging around in the background. It feels like it's in that universe. Really, really cool. Really, really like it.
Yeah.
Big fan. Big fan.
They need to link in the animated Miles Morales. Like, I wouldn't mind if that is... We're back!
Hello.
My internet just totally turned off for a moment.
Yeah, I went back to McDonald's.
Yeah. Right. Sorry. Yeah. What were we saying? Something terribly insightful and
Miss
witty.
Marvel's really good.
Miss Marvel's really good. Yeah. And yeah, I don't know if I actually said it before the internet cut off, but I would quite like it if that's how Miles Morales gets into the MCU. Is he just comes in fully animated from Spider-Verse movies. Have you seen the sort of... It's not really a trailer for the next one of those. Looks very awesome.
Yeah, it does look incredible. I'm very much looking forward to that. Very excited about that. Very excited about Andor as well. That looks fucking great.
And Andor looks like it is going to be stressful.
Yeah, I'm all for it as well, though.
Yeah,
like, my kind of stress.
Like it seems it's like Mon Mothma, like getting shit done. It should be pretty cool. But yeah, there's a lot of room for some very tense, like proper spy thriller stuff in there.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. Apparently, the latest episode of Obi-Wan is very good, so I'm excited. I'm wondering whether it's very good or it's very good for the people that think the prequels are very good, which means not very good. But
this does seem to... This is the thing that's... I mean, it kind of had to, really, but this is the thing that sort of actually started to even talk about the prequels. And, like, acknowledge that they exist.
Yep.
So, we'll see.
Yeah, agreed. Andor. Dunzo. Marvel's Midnight Suns gets a release date. We'll get into that in a second at Summer Games Fest. We've got talking Last of Us in a second as well, about Summer Games Fest.
Tease it.
Right. Morbius got released for a second time.
Wow.
Did you see this?
I did see something about this. I find it very difficult to take anything about this movie seriously.
So it got released for a second time after all the memes, like the Morbin Time memes. And it bombed again.
Well, I mean, of course it did. It's still the same movie.
Exactly, yeah. 70,000 people went to see it. So there is now a petition up to get them to release it a third time, with the petition saying, "Oh no, did we not tell you we were busy that weekend?"
I think there's obviously some studio exec has heard about the power of the fandoms and petitions. He's like, it's happening to me, one of my things. Look, boss, there's a huge fan backlash against this. If we don't get this back in theatres, we'll never hear the end of it. This is going to be a massive hit now, and everyone will think we're amazing because we brought it back. And then 6 people and their dog went to see it.
Yeah. It was.
I think what the problem is that it's just fundamentally not a very good movie.
That's the big problem.
That's where they went wrong.
The big problem.
Should have done a good film.
Make a good film, yeah. Well, maybe Morbin Time, Morbius 2. Maybe that's the good film. So there was another one as well, which was, did you not understand? What we actually want is a Morbius TV series. So just pump as much money as you can into that instead.
Yeah, $10 million an episode.
Yeah. Hopefully now they realise they're being trolled quite horrendously, so yeah.
Yep.
Dan says today's episode of Obi-Wan is by far the best one. So
I've been really enjoying Obi-Wan. It's slightly little. The action is not brilliant, not brilliantly staged, but overall the cinematography is amazing. And compare it to the Book of Boba Fett, it's far better.
Oh my god, yeah.
It's running the only thing that I'm struggling with it is some of the things that I have decided in my head are turning out not to be true. So I always assumed that when he confronts Vader on the Death Star, that's the first time he's seen him since knocking him into the pit. But it's never actually stated anywhere. That's just what I had decided.
Yeah.
But at the start, I even when we started watching it, in my head, I was convinced that they weren't actually going to meet throughout the whole thing.
That would have been quite nice. They I feels like they blew their load a little bit with that.
It's a little bit odd how he's met Leia and she knows that he's not just called Ben, but apparently one of the writers have said, look, just wait till the end, don't worry about it. So I'm guessing they're just going to wipe her memory like they do the droids.
Yeah, I can see that.
Bail Organa's got form for that sort of thing. He's going to wipe 3PO's memory again. He's you know what, stick Leia in there as well.
Yeah, definitely. Forget. She's definitely my daughter. Okay, now so that's all good. Yeah. Dan says also the best tweet I saw about Sony re-releasing Morbius when someone said it's one of the first times a movie studio has been catfished. Oh, I love it. Joker 2. We're getting a Joker 2.
So I've got to admit, I've still not seen the Joker, but I don't know if that sounded like a film that was desperately crying out for a sequel.
It's not. It ends quite nicely. I don't love it, I'll be honest. I quite liked the first Joker film. I looked past look at the whiny man babiness of it, to see that it was quite a good film about how surroundings are obviously affecting what he is becoming. And how Gotham created the Joker, basically. To what was quite a good film with some really tense moments. The sequel's going to be a musical, for starters. So if I was to hazard a guess, I'd be thinking One Flew Over Cuckoo's Nest, the musical. Whole thing set in Arkham. And Lady Gaga's been announced to play Harley Quinn in this as well.
That's not a terrible decision by any means, I don't think.
I don't love Lady Gaga as an actor. I think she's an amazing singer, an amazing person. I'm struggling to remember something I've seen her in that I thought was genuinely good, but then I haven't actually seen her in. It's a little bit of a whiny man baby film, Dan. It's if you hear what Todd Phillips has said about it, and I think that's what taints it for me. It does come across a bit.
There's a little bit of like, if this is in the real world, he'd just end up in a cheap Spider-Man costume up the side of a building going, she's turned the winds against us.
So, like, to be fair, my view of that is 100% coming from what Todd Phillips, the director, has said. The film itself is, you're right, Dan, it is not a whiny Batman baby film, but it's the stuff that the director said has made me pause a little bit. That being said,
lots of ways of looking at these things. So you can enjoy it for what it is, and then think about the sort of wider construct of it as a separate thing.
I will say I didn't think we needed the first Joker film, so the fact that I quite liked it says that maybe I like this one as well. Interesting seeing what they do with it, but I think the whole thing will be set in the Joker's head in Arkham Asylum would be my guess. Mm-hmm. So yeah,
like Sucker Punch 2.
Like Sucker Punch 2. No, I get, Dan. It's about mental health, poverty, class, politics. But just read some of the stuff Todd Phillips has said, like, about that film. It does kind of taint what it should be quite a good film about those things. Yeah, it doesn't need a sequel as well. I agree. Do you know what didn't need a remake, but I will buy the remake anyway, Russ? Resident Evil 4 is
this is like the remake.
Yeah.
Well, no, okay, they were remastered. No, they weren't even remasters, actually, weren't they? They were just Resident Evil 4. It's not actually been upgraded in any way, has it?
Yeah. No, so this hasn't. We've literally just got, here's the next 60 FPS version of Resident Evil 4, just what you always needed. The game where you stop and shoot needed 60 FPS, so...
none of the various versions that I bought are actually appreciably different in any way at all.
No.
But this is going to be a full-on, actual, like, new engine rebuild of Resident Evil 4, isn't it?
Yeah. Do we need it, Russ?
Well, no. We don't, because Resident Evil 4 still plays perfectly well these days. Like, you can still enjoy playing it. As opposed to, like, Resident Evil 2... No, you wouldn't really enjoy playing it these days because it just doesn't work how you expect things to work.
Yeah.
But
during this is on PushSquare.com.
I'm definitely going to buy it.
Yeah, same. Yeah. During today's Capcom Showcase 2022 live stream, treated to a precious few frames of new Resident Evil 4 remake. At 1:44, you can clearly see Leon aiming down the sights of his gun and moving at the same time.
Yeah,
so that takes away one of the things that Resident Evil 4 did, but
I mean, they must
hate it.
No, like they did do that deliberately, but that was like a core part of what made it so compelling, and it's what turned every encounter with any enemies into a bit of a puzzle, because you had to think, right, I'm going to go there, I'm going to shoot that, I'm going to do this to that one, and then while it's recovering I'll go over there. It wasn't really frantic improvise as you go along action. You kind of plan things out. So I don't know, we'll have to see.
I'll play the shit out of it, but I think that the best way of looking at it is the best way of looking at it is as a completely new game, basically. Like Resident Evil 2 was a completely new game from Resident Evil 2. I haven't played Resident Evil 3, I'll be honest, so I couldn't tell you about that one. But I'm up for the same... If it's the same game, if it's the same story with different gameplay, I'll give it a go. That sounds fun and interesting. So, yeah. All for it. Should we do some Summer Game Fest? That happened. There were some games announced in Summer Game Fest, believe it or not, Russ. Should we go through some of them?
Go for it.
Okay, Jack says if it's anything like 2 and 3 remakes, you move very slowly when aiming and it makes you very inaccurate. Yeah, that's a good point, actually, yeah. And then to fast...
Yeah, something like that would work. I mean, if that just introduces like a sort of another another bit of another dynamic. You know, you can move, but your aim's compromised, or you can stand still and you can be all laser sighted.
Yeah,
that would be quite good.
Good point. I like that. So here's the big announcements from the Summer of Games. We're going to go through a couple of them. We're going to go through this in the Xbox and Bethesda one. So Summer of Games, we got the game that everyone has been waiting for on PlayStation, Last of Us Remake, coming to PlayStation 5 and PC.
I mean, this really feels unnecessary.
This is the third one now. Third time they've released The Last of Us. And they kept showing... Maybe I need my eyes tested, because they kept showing the new graphics. And I kept looking and going, looks nice. It doesn't look like mind-blowing like I'm reading on the internet, though. It looks slightly nicer.
Graphics have been really good for quite a while now.
Including in Last of Us. Yeah. So, yeah. So, yeah, that's coming. Also, they showed us a freeze frame. It zooms a bit, so you lose your peripheral vision. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it's a really good point, actually. We saw a freeze frame of the TV series, which was announced that Ashley Johnson and Troy Baker are going to be in, as well as the actual main characters. So look out for them. Mm-hmm. I'm worried about the Last of Us TV series because I kind of think the game plays so much like a TV series anyway. I don't know. I don't think we need any of it, if I'm honest with you. Street Fighter 6, 900th release of Resi 4. Dan, I'll buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, accurate. On all the consoles as well, for that matter. So, yeah. So we see Guile in Street Fighter 6. Do you feel good about this? Excited about Street Fighter 6?
I've not been part of the Street Fighter community since I think Street Fighter 2 Turbo round at my friend's house on his Amiga. So, you know, I don't really feel like I've got a lot to bring to this.
I want to point out to Jack, third Last of Us release, Dan, completely unnecessary. 900th release of Resident Evil 4, Dan, I'll buy it.
Yeah. Won't be happy about it. Yeah. I don't want to buy it again. I'm going to.
And it's completely different. It's not just revamped graphics. Now, the other 899 times, yeah, that's on me. I can't do much about that one. You're absolutely right. So, yeah. Yeah. Okay, it's a very good point. Aliens Dark Descent to bring players face-to-face with Xenomorphs once more in 2023. Brand new game set in the universe of the Alien franchise will arrive in 2023. We didn't learn much about it, but a cinematic trailer reveals the tone that the players expect. Trailer ends with Marines fighting Xenomorphs from a top-down perspective, potentially hinting at what the gameplay will look like. It's looking like it might be like an XCOM-esque Alien game. So
that could be quite good.
Yeah, fine with that. Yeah. The one thing I'll say about The Last of Us TV series is I love Pedro Pascal, and he looks amazing in it, so that's good. So the theme of the night was survival horror in space. So we got the Callisto Protocol first extended gameplay from the people that made Dead Space. That looks really good. It's really, I'd say fun, but it doesn't look fun. We also got a new Layers of Fear. We also got, trying to find all the horror ones, but we'll just go down the list. It's just easier. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 gameplay demo.
I'm so confused. Has time gone in a loop? How are we just having Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2? I know my brain's not what it was, but I'm pretty sure I played that 15 years ago. You did, but you also... So the last time they released Modern Warfare, it was just called Call of Duty Modern Warfare. And this one is now called Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Yeah. It's a sequel to that Modern Warfare. But it's got some of the same people in it as
it's got all the same people
15 years ago, but they're not doing the same things.
Yeah. Jack says the Aliens game is going to be like a real-time XCOM, which sounds super cool. I'll play it. Yeah, for that. Yeah, so it looks like this mission, at least, is one that was actually in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 as well, so... But yeah. Yeah, so you got Simon Ghost Riley and Sergeant John Soap McTavish. Yeah. So got Gaz as well, Captain Price. So yeah.
Gaz is Roach, isn't he? Isn't he the one you play in the next game?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. That's then he
becomes, you got to have a cool nickname to join the SAS.
Then he becomes Geralt's horse, so that's nice. Layers of Fear is a psychedelic horror chronicle made in Unreal Engine 5. I don't really care about that, I'll be honest. Xbox announced that Spider-Man coming to Xbox wasn't the big announcement that the people thought it was, because he's coming in the Midnight Suns game. Which
they don't mean
great.
The game Spider-Man is coming to Xbox.
No.
If there is one thing that PlayStation are going to hold on to, it sounds like it's going to be that.
But it looks fun though. Looks really good fun.
Sony have it.
A game that I'm trying to get excited about, but I can't get excited about. Gotham Knights Nightwing gameplay trailer was we saw at Summer of Games. I like my Batman games, and maybe I should get over it, because maybe we've had enough Batman games with Batman in. But I like my Batman games to have Batman in them. And I say maybe it's just me, and I can accept that.
Mm-hmm.
Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge gets a release date. Casey Jones is a playable character, and a new 6-player mode. June 16th, that comes out. So tomorrow. Cool.
Yeah, could be cool.
We're getting a new Saints Row game. New Cuphead DLC, Delicious Last Course. A stylish card-based shooter, Neon White.
A card-based shooter?
Yeah.
That feels kind of very much like they've just taken some buzzwords.
Noun and Gremlin. Yeah, no, but it does actually look quite cool. Here's the one that caught me off guard, and now I'm quite excited about it. Flashback 2. The long-awaited sequel to the 1992 sci-fi platformer.
I don't know if you could even call it a sequel, really. It's like 30 years old, that game, isn't it?
It is 30 years old, yeah.
Mm.
Witchfire, an arcane shooter, which looks fun, actually. It does look really good fun. So, next on the spacey horror games, Fort Solis stars Last of Us 2's Troy Baker and Red Dead Redemption 2's Roger Clark. Sci-fi thriller that stars The Last of Us. Okay, that's all it's literally said, but it does actually look quite good. Routine is a horror game with a terrifying cast of robots. Ex-Blizzard devs announced Stormgate. Goat Simulator 3, you excited about that?
No, I've got no time for that sort of nonsense. Although, have you seen that there's been a big update to Timberborn?
No, I missed that.
Yeah, so I've finished my latest settlement. It's an entirely self-sufficient community built completely over water, so it's all on stilts and platforms and things. But I was like, I've got to stop this. I've got like 1,500 beavers. It's down to like 10 frames a second because it can't cope with that many. Right, I'm stopping this. But I'm going to have to start a new game now because they've introduced a new update with a bunch of new buildings, and you can, if you build up enough science points, you can now get little beaver golems. It's like little automaton beavers that will go around like doing your work for you.
That does sound fun.
Yeah,
you made that sound fun. Congratulations. Okay, I'm still not going to play that shit, but
it's a big thing. Everyone thought there was going to be some sort of like train system, so you could transport goods around between your various districts. But this really took everyone by surprise.
Warhammer 40k Darktide. We got an extended gameplay trailer for this as well.
And really? I haven't seen that yet. I'll have to have a look at that.
I'm fucking in for this. Mm-hmm. Put me in there as an Imperial Guardsman. I'm fucking up for that. It's fun times. And it's coming to Game Pass, which is great.
Oh, is it? It's cool.
Yeah. Day one Game Pass.
Nice.
We got a One Piece game release trailer, which is nice. It's something to do with Genshin Impacts. Something to do with Warframe. There we go, that'll do. Xbox and Bethesda Showcase. Everything announced at those things. They opened with Redfall, which is an open world vampire shooter game that looked a lot like Borderlands meets vampires. I'm kind of into that. I'll play that. We also got the next Hollow Knight game, Silk Song, which does look really good as well. I'm in for that as well.
And aren't they're doing like an Xbox and Bethesda Showcase 2, aren't they?
They did an extended version as well, which was quite good as well. So
yeah. So there was no sort of new stuff, was it? It was just like more in depth, less time constrained.
High on Life from Squanch Games, the creator of Rick and Morty. High on Life wears its influence in its sleeves with smart talking, personified guns, cheeky knives, and big mouse staring eyes. and a series of whimsical, weird, and wonderful characters. We were shown a vibrant FPS with the sense of humour that seemed to mirror a strange but cool-looking mix of Rick and Morty itself and 90s Nicktoons. It looks really good fun. Your guns talk back to you.
That sounds quite Borderlandsy as well, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. I think this is huge news that kind of just went, eh. So, League of Legends, all champions unlocked. League of Legends Wild Rift, all champions unlocked. Legends of Runeterra, Foundation set unlocked. Team Fights, select little legends unlocked. And Valorant, all agents unlocked. All come to Game Pass.
Wow.
A Plague Tale Requiem, sequel to Plague Tale. I haven't played it, but this does look fucking great, so I might have to play it at some point. We got a Forza Motorsport trailer, and so as Gran Turismo is kind of languishing with people not really giving a shit, Forza released their motorsport game, and it looks fucking great. I love the Horizon games. The Horizon games are my favourites, but this does look really good as well. Flight Simulator.
This is much hardcore,
Yeah.
much more hardcore racing and league tables and things, isn't it?
Yep. Flyable Pelican coming to Flight Simulator.
They're bringing a whole bunch of stuff to Flight Sim. There's going to be
Yeah.
gliders and helicopters, and there's a bunch of historic aircraft. So you can fly like the Spirit of St. Louis and things like that.
Yeah. And the historical Pelican as well. So, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Overwatch 2. Ara History Untold. I think the highlight of this was that Shore did the voiceover for it, so that looks fun. Fallout 76, The Pit, due out in September, which is like more Fallout 76, which is allegedly actually quite good now. Mm-hmm. So, Horizon 5, the first DLC was announced. Hot Wheels again. This a couple of years ago.
Fairly natural team up, isn't it?
And it was fucking good fun. Arc 2, haven't got the hint yet, and still insisting you're using Vin Diesel as a character model for one of their characters in it. And it looks jarring as fuck seeing Vin Diesel on the back of a fucking dinosaur. So that's the thing. Scorn looks like H.R. Geiger-esque biopunk horror.
Biopunk, is that the latest thing that we're attaching punk to?
Yeah, definitely, yeah. Fumbling around a hellscape with twisted monsters with lashing limbs and razor sharp tongues. It looks like the 9 Circles of Hell in presentation. We're guessing it's a good sign of things to come. So yeah. How has Dan gone this long without mentioning the Forza Horizon DLC? Well, I mentioned it now, and it does look really good fun. And 10 new cars and being able to go do a loop-the-loop is my kind of thing in Forza.
Mm-hmm.
Flintlock, The Siege of Dawn. I can't remember a great deal about this. It looked quite fun, though. Minecraft Legends, Lightyear Frontier. Don't know a great deal about that. Gunfire Reborn, Last Case of Benedict Fox. There's a load of games here that I'm just going to breeze through here. As Dusk Falls, Pentiment, Grounded, getting an official release date. Ereban Shadow Legacy, Diablo 4, looks fucking great. More Sea of Thieves. Season 7's about to start. It's just starting. Oh, the 31st. So yeah, of July. Ravenlock, a neat-looking action-adventure game with magic and monsters and cacti and giant cats, due next year. Cocoon reveal trailer. That was there as well. Wolong looked fun. The Persona games coming to Xbox Game Pass, which is really, really big news. Persona 3 Portable, Persona 4 Golden, and Persona 5 Royal. So yeah, that's good. Here's the news we've been waiting for, Russ.
Mm-hmm.
The unequalable genius Hideo Kojima of Kojima Productions.
Oh, that Hideo Kojima, yeah.
Yeah. The genius, the auteur, the one of the biggest stars in games and one of the most important people in games. You know, we've consistently been a fan of Hideo Kojima's work here on this podcast, and it's important to remember that we have always supported him, and we've never had a bad word to say about him. Hideo Kojima of Hideo Kojima Productions. making Hideo Kojima games. And it's important that we remember that because he is a genius. Is collaborating with Xbox Game Studios.
Wow.
I'm so glad. Yeah, just an absolute genius, isn't he? So, yeah. One of the best in the games industry. Humble as well, to a fault almost. And really, really important to video games. So, Hideo Kojima, oh man, you're so welcome. Kojima-san, you're so welcome at Xbox Game Studios, with Xbox Game Studios. And we look forward to these games because we are such huge Hideo Kojima fans. What's your favourite Hideo Kojima game, Russ?
It's probably just the one where you stare Hideo Kojima in the face all the time.
Oh man, that's my favourite too. Yeah, so I love that. And then lastly, some mixed reviews of this trailer. I personally think it looked pretty fucking great. Whether it can pull it off, I'm not sure. Starfield. We saw gameplay. Todd Howard pulled back the curtain on a ton of in-game features. The new RPG includes the fact that there are 100 systems, over 1,000 planets in total to explore, spacefaring combat, and a fully customizable spaceship which you can fly yourself. We also saw an extended look at combat in the first-person perspective, mining in the third-person perspective, and interacting with various factions. There sure were a lot to take from this Starfield trailer.
I think everyone's been a bit burnt by Cyberpunk, and it's just like,
100% agree. And I'm one of those people.
We're scared to love again.
Yep.
We just don't want to get that excited, only to be
And
to
you
be
know,
that let
it's
down.
Todd Howard. We're not talking about Hideo Kojima here. Like, it's not quite the same thing.
No.
You know.
But yeah, I mean, if it can pull it off, it's going to be fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
But that's what they said. Like, do you remember that everyone was convinced Cyberpunk was going to be the best thing that ever happened?
Yeah. And this has happened. This is not the first time this has happened either. So, you know. Yeah. Unfortunate, but...
So, yeah, I think let's not get too excited. I'm cautiously optimistic.
Same.
It does look
Absolutely
very cool.
same. I think I'm actually newsed out, Russ.
You're newsed off. You've newsed yourself off.
Yeah. I think it finally happened.
Good, good. Well, I mean, the only thing I give a shit about these days is Timberborn, so, yeah.
I fucking know.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Should we wrap this mother up? Unless there's any, what have you been up to, Russ?
Nothing podcast relevant. Been away with the Sprogs and working. That's about it.
I watched Pistol, the Sex Pistols documentary.
Oh, that apparently that looks really good.
Yeah, I mean, it's got a
Enjoy
massive
a
amount.
good music documentary.
Yeah, I fucking love them. I spent all day. I was doing some stuff for work at home yesterday, and so I spent all day just watching and listening to music stuff, and it was amazing. Not accurate would be my
None of these
what I
things
say.
are they?
No,
Is it
but
a-
it did annoy me in places.
Is it a dramatization or is it just
Yeah.
like a straight documentary?
Yeah, so there is this perceived relationship between Steve Jones and Chrissy Hind, and that never happened. So, I mean, they knew each other. That's fine, and they were hanging out with each other, but there was never a relationship between the two. So,
But you remember what was that Motley Crue one called? The Dirt.
the Dirt, yeah,
That was a bit like that. Like a lot of that was made up, but it was still very enjoyable.
kind of similar thing as well, because this is based on Steve Jones's book, and that was based on the Motley Crue autobiography as well. So, but yeah, well worth a watch.
Cool.
So yeah, I think that's about it. We wrapping this mother up?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, let's do it.
No other news outstanding.
Go fall asleep then. Although it's too hot to fall asleep, so I don't know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
I'll just
but,
like flop about for a bit.
oh, I might go sit outside. Yeah.
Go sit outside,
Yeah.
completely naked, eating
Yeah.
a cold McDonald's.
Yeah, everyone, that's... I might stick that on my OnlyFans, Russ. Yeah, I think that's what people are after, right? That's the content people want.
My OnlyFans, of course, consists of nothing but guided tours of my Timberborn settlements.
I forgot to mention the winner of the World Cup of Robots.
Drum roll.
Yeah. As if there was ever any doubt. R2-D2.
Of course it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Some very... there were some results that I was not happy with at all. I think I might have to have a word with our public about the way they voted in some of those. But, yeah, a deserving winner, I think, for the little charismatic trash can.
If you've got any ideas for the World Cup of the next World Cup of that we'd like to, you want us to do, send them our way.
We only need to do a few more, and then we can do a World Cup of World Cups.
Oh my God, yeah, that's the way forward. Yeah, love it. So,
Speaking of in a slightly similar way, the Taskmaster Champion of Champions 2 is is on in a couple of weeks.
Oh, is it?
Which should be enjoyable. Yeah, it's going to be on straight after the end of this series of Taskmaster, which has been an absolute blinder. I'm loving it. I haven't
watched any of it, mate.
It's really good. There's a real good dynamic to the cast in this one.
I have to give it a watch.
And they're allowed to sit near each other on the stage again, which I do think makes a big difference.
I think you might be right.
Because you can see them all at once, so you can see how they're reacting to each other rather than it being them with 10 metres of space between them. But this has been an absolute corker of a series.
I'll have to give it a watch. Mm-hmm. World Cup of Jedi.
Yeah, we could do, actually.
Yeah, like we could do it. It'll be a quicker one. It'll be a smaller one, but we could do that.
Yeah. We could do that.
Kit Fisto, number 1 seed. Yeah, exactly.
He's a hero, like a fireman.
Hero, like a fireman. Yeah. Exactly like a fireman. Yeah. So yeah. Yeah, I'm in. We might do that, Jack. I like that. Cool. Right, we're wrapping this up because I am sleepy.
Okay, right. Well, we need to let Dan recline nude, letting the evening breeze caress his little nuggets.
Yeah.
As he drips McDonald's burger sauce down his chin.
Drips,
burger sauce, isn't it? It's just
grease,
ketchup and stuff.
Yeah.
So you toddle off and enjoy that.
I will.
Anything on the other podcast channels people should look out for?
Nah, nothing at the moment. We're meant to be doing a Marvel Marvel at some point, but I just don't know when. But when that goes up, it's going to cover so much. I think we might do 3 in the same time to cover all the films we've watched.
We're approaching summer holiday, so it might be a bit patchy over the next month or two. There might be some weeks when we move the date or can't do it. But you know what? Can live with it.
Yeah,
we've all got lives.
I've got so much going on right now. It's crazy. So yeah.
So in the meantime, any news that we've missed? I mean, not actual news. We don't care about that. But geeky news that we've missed or anything like that. Hit us up on the socials. TMTOH on pretty much anything you can think of.
Mm-hmm.
Discord servers linked to from the Instagram bio. I still think it's ridiculous that you can't just have discord.com/something. What is that all about? Right? You're not that special, Discord. You're just another fucking Slack rip-off, aren't you? But that's how you can find us on there.
Yeah.
With that, Daniel, thank you very much.
Oh, thanks, Ross.
It's been an absolute pleasure.
Beautiful. Yeah. Yeah.
And we will see you losers next time.
Bye.